Last, Milan's Red Letter Day, Derby Day, a grand tradition since 1908, involving two of the most storied clubs in the entire world. There's so little to separate the teams in terms of prestige, so expect this to be nothing less than a day of storm and tempest, heady ambition and sharp partisanship. There is a massive sense of expectation emanating from this part of Milan. The giant arena bearing the name of perhaps the finest player ever to don the famous black and blue jersey. It is simply a gorgeous, gorgeous sight. The Milan derby, one of the most eagerly anticipated.
The atmosphere alone will send shivers down your spine, and when a goal is registered, the decibel level will deafen you. Believe me on that. Tension levels can be off the scale, and the Milanese have a unique way of expressing their emotions. I've been privileged to be in this position before now, and I'm not expecting to leave disappointed.
Well, as you can see, we've already started here. One of the most eagerly awaited games in football. It never lets us down. Passionate, emotional, blood-boiling, sometimes angry, always the same, yet every time a little different. Turan! And he's done it!
Well, talk about a real rude awakening. It's almost as if the defence saw nothing coming. They just didn't anticipate, on heels rather than toes. Look, there just wasn't much of a gap to begin with, and to find it, I think it was a fine drive, and I don't think the keeper could have really planned for that. I think he's a bit unlucky in that instance.
Inter Milan have their opener. It is a goal of real significance.
Well, that's changed the mood entirely, as you'd expect, Peter. It'll be fascinating now to see what kind of...
And Martinez! Oh, split-second reaction.
Well, you get a sense, Peter, that he could almost get to anything today.
Milan have the chance to go the other way. And the shot!
Milan are really in a position where patience and prudence will serve them best. Time's on their side.
Works it forward. That's a shade optimistic. Rodri. Here's Rafael Leao. Now it's Torres. Pass is just off target.
Well, I'm not quite sure he needed to hold up play quite as much as he did then. A couple of his teammates were very annoyed.
Out to the right. Bellingham. Shifted upfield. And it's Mkhitaryan. Well, they're certainly pressing with purpose here. Oh, the movement is slick, the speed is slippery. The defence, though, able to hold on this time. Bisek. Dumfries.
OK, being behind at the break isn't ideal, but there's plenty of time to reply.
Oh, no, that was never going to make it. Stefan de Vrij. Into the final 5 minutes of the first half. Passing is crisp and sharp. The pressing's intense, and it's paid off. Torres. Beckham.
There will be 1 minute added time.
Mkhitaryan. And the whistle goes for half-time. Well, it's a half which has simmered along nicely, warming up to what may be.
Well,
Reflect and regroup. I can see a few changes coming, because whatever they've been doing, it just hasn't gelled.
Well, you'd have to say it's a game that has very much lived up to the pre-game expectations. Passions running pretty high, rivals going at each other 100 miles an hour. You wonder whether they can keep this up.
And if you're just back from your break, you've missed very little of the resumption of the second half.
It's not easy being down in situations like this. I know it's an overused term, but you really have to play with courage. Be brave, and let's see where it gets you. You might just get lucky because of it.
Camavinga did just about enough to come out on top there. Neither party overly willing to compromise. Milan still this single goal behind. Played out towards the right wing. He's in plenty of space here. Defending of the desperate variety. Roberto. Your impression so far, Jim?
Well, considering they're only one down, they're closer to conceding a second than scoring a leveller.
And it's Beckham. Martinez might just make this. Ruben Dias. Passes coming off in quick succession here. Beckham tries making a foray down the right. Bisek. Barella. Dumfries. And it's Mkhitaryan. No, he wasn't being taken in by that trickery. That's good running with the ball. Fernando Torres. And here's Bellingham. Bellingham! And one more try! And that is one way to get his defending done.
Substitution for Inter, number 32.
So, time for changes on both sides, actually.
Dumfries.
They've played it
Number
short.
22. Mkhitaryan.
Roberto
Coming
keeps
on
it
the field.
so gently.
Number 8. Arnautovic.
Milan
Number
really might
17.
just end up kicking
Number
themselves
7.
after that. That could well have been it.
Substitution.
Thuram. And he was quick to react. And he's straight offside.
Substitutions taking place.
It is looking like the end. If anything's going to happen, it's got to happen now.
Yeah, they're really playing in hope at this point, but hope is something you can always cling to. Inter can afford to settle on seeing this one out by running down the clock, I think.
Now it's De Bruyne. Çalhanoğlu. Inter Milan clearly now in
2
lead
added
preservation
minutes has been
mode.
indicated.
Into stoppage time, very little left on it. And there goes the final whistle. Milan came into this game looking for all 3 points, but in the end they're unable to lay claim even to a consolation prize. Thoughts on what we've just seen?
Yeah, well, I've been on the losing side in games like this, and I can tell you it really does hurt. It's